Were you calling me, Gareth?
I was hoping you might want to redeem yourself for not having brought me that Fupa feather and potions. You see, I have an idea for a fizzing Whizbee-inspired beverage, but I'm missing a key ingredient.
Where do you find time for this and your homework?
I've plenty of time for both, been managing for years. So, I suspect the key ingredient in fizzing Whizbees is dried billywig stings. I heard there's a store of them in Honeyduke's cellar. I'd get them myself, but my Aunt Matilda has her eye on me. Thinks I need to focus on potions class for a while, not for my own brews. I was hoping you could follow a secret passage to Honeyduke's cellar and grab a few dried billywig stings for me.
Of course. You never know when you might need a quick means of escape from the castle.
Brilliant, thank you. But you should know that it's not exactly quick. It's the secret bit that's helpful. The passage is hidden behind the statue of a one-eyed witch in the third-floor corridor. Just tap it with your wand and say, Descendium.
Couldn't you have someone buy the dried billywig stings?
They're not for sale, and you never know when the cellar's going to be locked. So, the reliable way in and out is through the secret entrance.
Are you asking me to steal from a shop?
Goodness, it's not as if I'm asking you to rob Gringotts. Honeyduke's is more than enough, and I only need a few. It's a sweets ingredient. They won't be missed, trust me.
I'll see what I can do, Gareth.
Fair enough. You shall be the first one to taste my newest brew if you can be of help. Perhaps I can convince a meat to help me with my potions homework. Get my aunt to loosen her reins a bit.
I'll need to get those dried billywig stings for Gareth if he's to finish his latest concoction. A one-eyed witch statue shouldn't be too hard to find. What were you and Ominous speaking about?
He's being ridiculous. Apparently Salazar Slytherin had a secret scriptorium here in Hogwarts. Ominous swears it was used for the dark arts, so he wants nothing to do with it. I reminded him that Anne needs a cure. This scriptorium could hold the answers we need.
The dark arts do pique my interest.
There's more to dark magic than people realize. The Gaunts know this, better than most. Perhaps I've spoken out of turn. Ominous's family history is personal to him.
I'd like to know more about it if you wouldn't mind telling me. I won't repeat it.
Very well. But do keep this between us. Ominous learned dark magic from his parents. Are you familiar with the Cruciatus Curse?
What does the Cruciatus Curse do?
It's known as the Torture Curse. Crucio. It inflicts intense, excruciating pain on the victim. Apparently, his parents and older siblings had no qualms about casting it on muggles for sport. Ominous described the sound of the victim's cries as horrific, so the first time he was asked to cast it himself as a child, he couldn't bring himself to do it. As punishment, his family cast it on him. The anguish was so bad that when asked to cast it again, he relented. I have repeatedly assured Ominous that he did what he had to, but he still hasn't forgiven himself.
How horrible. Poor Ominous. He was only a child. He shouldn't blame himself.
After that incident, the rift between Ominous and his family only grew. That is until I came along. Every moment he isn't at Hogwarts, he's with us in Feldcroft. Ominous trusts me. And more often than not, he winds up listening to me. I'll remind him of that when I follow up about the scriptorium. Watch for my owl. I'll have news soon enough. I'll make Ominous understand. He'll change his mind.
Revelio. Accio! Revelio!
What if he sticks like this?
Revelio!
Don't be silly, it'll wear off in a few hours, I think.
You think? It didn't before.
This looks like the right statue. Now, what was the password? Descendium! Goodness. Who knew this was all down here? Revelio. A lift. Must be how I get down. Looks broken though. Revelio. Accio. Deposit. I need to fix the lift before I can use. Who knew this was all down here? A lift. Must be how I get down. Looks broken though. Accio! Arresto momentum. Levioso! I need to fix the lift before I can use it. Descendo! Accio! Arresto momentum. Depulso! Reparo! That seems to have done the trick. Revelio. This castle will never cease to surprise me. Revelio. Incendio. Revelio. Incendio. Revelio. I'm trapped. How am I supposed to get out of here? Revelio. If I could lift this platform, I think I could get it to work. Leviosa. Repulsor. Accio. Leviosa. I'm going to have to get past this. Arrest the moment. Reparo. Leviosa. Revelio. Leviosa. Reparo. Leviosa. Revelio. Incendio. One more to go and I'll make it across. Reparo. Leviosa. Something is getting in the way of that platform. Deposit. Leviosa. Accio. Leviosa. Aha, got it. Revelio. This must be the way out. I need to find a way to open that gate. Incendio. Something smells sweet. Must be close to Honeydukes. Hogsmeade, here I come. Honeydukes. I can smell the chocolate. Now, where would I find the dried billywig stings for Gareth? Revelio. I have the dried billywig stings. Now back to Gareth. I can only imagine how his new recipe's going to turn out. Revelio. Revelio. Revelio.
Duncan owes his reputation to you.
Hello, Gareth. I have those dried billywig things.
You got them! Incredible.
Happy to help. Here you go.
This is brilliant! Can't wait to get started. Thank you again. I'll let you know when I've brewed my first batch of fizzing whizbeer.
Hello, Mr. Moon.
Oh, greetings! Any luck removing some more of those demiguise statues?
I actually have some moons for you.
Oh, wonderful, truly. If you bring me just a few more, I can teach you how to improve casting a la Hamora.
I'll keep an eye out for more demiguise statues and see if I can bring you more moons.
You are to be commended for your bravery and valor, especially since they can only be collected at night.
Handy resource indeed, your field guide. I'm most pleased to be included.
Revelio.
Perhaps a hybrid. Bouncing tentacular.
I've finished the activities you assigned me, Professor Garlick.
Wonderful! I hope you gained a greater appreciation for the flora in our lives. I am forever enraptured by it. Just yesterday, I spent hours pruning my self-fertilizing shrubs and flutterby bushes. Didn't realize how long I'd been at it until the sun began to set. Well, if there's one thing I love to see more than my plants thriving, it's one of my students doing the same. Now, ready to learn Flipendo? Chin up, keep a light grip, and it's all in the wrist. Let's see you give it a go. You will want to focus with this spell. Nothing as mortifying as knocking back a colleague when all you wanted to do was move a few pots. Wonderfully done! If you'd like to practice a bit more, you're welcome to do so here in the greenhouse. Just mind the plants, please.
Please could you remind me the purpose of my tasks, Professor?
Of course, dear. Professor Weasley has kindly asked that I give you some tasks to ensure that your learning continues to flourish outside of the classroom. Once you've completed them all, be sure to return to me, and I'll know that you're ready to learn Flipendo.
Flipendo. Revelio.
Professor Garlick, a moment of your time?
The plants are resting, so now's as good a time as any.
I was wondering, what made you want to teach herbology?
How lovely of you to ask. I've always had an affinity for greenery, so this situation is a bit of a dream come true. After graduation, I was thrilled to be asked to step in for my old herbology professor. He'd had a slight accident, you see.
Oh dear. A shame for him, but it worked out well for you.
Well, he never cared, really cared for the plants, and they could sense it. Oh, you'd be surprised how perceptive a plant can be. At any rate, the trouble began one day when he cut into a wigan tree. Unfortunately for him, its leaves were hiding a bowtruckle. You may recall the marvelous creatures that resemble a twig. The little beast gouged the professor's eyes quite fiercely, but terrifying, I'd imagine. Likely for the professor, too.
And that's when you took over as the herbology professor?
Well, not quite. After 3 weeks at St. Mungo's, my predecessor regained a tiny bit of his eyesight. He insisted on returning to the greenhouse. Within a week, he claims by accident, kicked a Chinese chomping cabbage, so it was back to St. Mungo's for him.
A fair bit of bad luck there, I'd say.
Well, I felt awful for him, but I dare say I felt a bit more sympathy for the cabbage. Upon his discharge from the hospital, his indifference to plants had turned to utter disdain. He lost what little patience he had left with a particularly temperamental venomous tentacula and, well, his resulting leave of absence continues to this day.
I had no idea. How awful.
Last I heard, he'd gone to Romania. As rumour would have it, he'd developed a sudden interest in dragons. One can only hope he found more happiness working with them than he did with Flora. Ha! Lovely speaking with you. Have a wonderful day. Oh, and remember, be kind to your Wigan trees.
Revelio.
Please could you remind me the pub?
Of course.
How nice to see you, my young friend.
Revelio.
Something to finally have an answer as to why that portrait was empty.
Revelio. Revelio.
Sometimes it seems all roads. Hogsmeade.
Historically speaking, there's never been a team like this year's.
You're back! Nice to see you again. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again.
Has there ever been a vampire working out?
Revelio.
Hello, Serona. I received your owl. How are you?
Hello, my friend. Did you ever find Lodgok?
I did, thank you. We had a good conversation. He sends you his best.
Glad to hear it. I shan't ask for details of your little chat, and I'll refrain from telling you to be careful yet again. But I hope you will be, whatever your plans.
Of course. Your owl mentioned you're needing my help with something?
I do. I thought you might be just the person to do a favour for my friend Dorothy Sprottle in Upper Hogsfield.
I've actually met Mrs. Sprottle. I recently spoke with her about her friend Claire Beaumont.
She's lovely. Her late husband Aidan was a friend of my father's. In fact, I'd stay with Dot and Aidan the summers I waited tables here as a student. I've seen her a few times since Aidan passed, but the pub's been so busy lately, I've not been as attentive as I'd have liked. I wonder if you might pop in and see her. She may need some help collecting ingredients for her supply of Wiggenweld potion. And you could retrieve something of mine in the process. A box, full of old letters and such.
Why does Mrs. Sprottle keep a supply of Wiggenweld potion on hand?
Dot's a skilled potioneer. She's been supplying travelling vendors with Wiggenweld potion. An ordinary precaution that has, unfortunately, become a necessity, what with Ranrock's loyalists disrupting the trade routes.
Why did Mr. and Mrs. Sprottle have your box of letters after all this time?
It's one of a few that I had when I was young. Dot found it when she was clearing out a closet. Can't imagine what's in there. Probably terribly theatrical. The ramblings of a teenage witch and her friends. You're welcome to take a peek inside, if you do find it. To be honest, I'd imagine it contains some lovely memories.
I'll try to go and see her when I can.
It would mean the world to me, and to Dorothy. Aidan was bringing the box of letters to me when he was taken ill. Dot can tell you where he might have dropped it. You'll find the hamlet just north of Hogsmeade. Please do give Dot my love.
You're worrying far too much. Nobody's looking.
Does it get any more cozy than Hogsmeade?
Revelio.
Ah, Upper Hogsfield. Now where to find Mrs. Sprottle? Nice to see you again, Mrs. Sprottle. Actually, Sirona Ryan asked if I'd come and see you.
Oh, dear Sirona, a gem. Has been for as long as I've known her.
She thought you might need help collecting ingredients for your Wiggenweld potion.
And she's correct. My darling Aidan used to collect hawklumps for me. Since he died, my supply has dwindled.
I'm sorry for your loss, Mrs. Sprottle.
Oh, thank you. Love of my life. A bit lost without him. If you wouldn't mind gathering some hawklumps for me, I'd be happy to compensate you for your time.
Believe it or not, I have some with me.
Oh, thank you. How wonderful. The travelling vendors will be thrilled to replenish their stock of Wiggenweld potion.
Sirona also mentioned that Mr. Sprottle was bringing her a box of letters when he fell ill.
Indeed he was. I'd almost forgotten. I stumbled upon it just before Aidan died. He was hoping to go through it with Sirona over a butterbeer or two. Those two were always like two bowtruckles in a branch. Aidan took ill when he was collecting hawklumps on his way to see her. He made it home, but I fear he dropped the box in the cavern. The cavern is in the hills just southwest of our hamlet. You can gather hawklumps and collect the box of letters there.
Sirona said she lived with you during the summers when she was at Hogwarts. What was she like?
Goodness. Well, she was almost exactly like she is now. I can't tell you the fun we had when she and her friends would visit us during talented group. Her friend Mirabelle was a genius in the garden.
Do you remember anything about the letters you put in the box?
Oh, of course. A few letters from some of her school friends. Some not. I even included a letter Sirona had written to me when she was staying with us. Thought, I know when I read writing from my youth, I'm always astonished at how much I've changed. And
thank you, Mrs. Sprottle.
thank you. I'll be here if you are able to collect those hawklumps. I and the vendors I help would greatly appreciate it.
Knowing a meat, he's likely studied here.
Revelio.
Tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we could steal some beasts from the pens at Hogwarts.
I dream of making a better world. For me.
Protego!
Oh, that warrants a look. Oh, I'll put you in it. One in belly.
This must be the cavern Mrs. Sprottle mentioned.
Revelio.
Sprottle, but I still need to visit the cave to find Sirona's box of letters. Perhaps I'll find more hawklumps while I'm there. Better have a look around. See about the hawklumps and the box of letters. That's all the Hawk lumps for now. Mrs. Sprottle should be pleased. Revelio!
Lumos. Lumo. Incendio. Revelio. Revelio. Descendo. Revelio.
Either I'll have to fight that troll, or avoid it altogether.
Defender! Defender! Descendo! Revelio. Glacius. Descendo. Incendio. Glacius. Potato. Stupefy. Incendio. Descendo. Glacius. Defender. Incendio. Descendo. Incendio. Glacius.
Incendio! Defendo! Descendo! That was a close one. Revelio! Lumos. Revelio. Lumos. Revelio. Depulso. Revelio. Revelio. This must be Sorona's box of letters. I should take this box of letters to Sorona. She'll be glad to have it back. I think that's everything. Sorona will be glad to have this back. Revelio. Hogsmeade, here I come. Revelio.
Hope you're not here for a knotgrass sprig, because I'm not entirely sure I have them in stock. Doors always open. You be sure to stop by soon.
I saw what you did!
Folk still talk about you taking down that troll in the village circle. You certainly made an impression.
Hello, Sirona. I have good news. I was able to provide your friend Mrs. Sprottle with some hawk lumps for her Wiggenweld potion, and I found your box of letters.
Oh, thank you. I knew you were the one to ask.
I wondered about some of the letters in the box.
Of course. It appears most of the letters were from fellow students.
One of the letters mentions Quidditch practice. Did you play?
I did. Was the Ravenclaw Seeker for 3 years. Oh, Merlin's beard. I adore Quidditch. Nothing like the feeling of catching the golden snitch when your team's down by 140 points. I'll never forgive Professor Black for cancelling it this year. I missed cheering for Ravenclaw. We could have cheered them on together.
I saw a letter from someone named Mirabelle. Is that Professor Garlick?
It is. Still one of my dearest friends. I know she wouldn't mind you having seen that letter. She and I are of a similar mind, especially when it comes to young people. We believe experience to be an invaluable teacher. To borrow a phrase from Mirabelle, it's a joy to see anyone blossom, but particularly one who doubted they ever would.
I spotted a letter from you to Mrs. Sprottle. You two seem to have a lot of fun together.
We do. She taught me so much during my summers with her and Aidan. I shall be the first to admit that adolescents aren't always the easiest to understand. And not everyone was as kind to me as the Sprottles. But the depth of their kindness, and that of so many of my friends, got me through some challenging times, to put it mildly.
I'm glad I could be of help. Mrs. Sprottle sends her best.
Don't know what I'd have done without her and Aidan. Thank you, again, for helping her, and for returning this box of letters. It's nice to reflect on good memories.